The Russian-Ukrainian conflict is taking another path. That was clear after the statement that was made by Russian President Vladimir Putin, where he said that Russia is not using means which are being used by Ukrainian tycoons. For its part, Russian Defense Ministry said that 8 drones had been fired at the city of Moscow, in what President Putin called it a terrorist attack by the Kiev regime.
As you know, the Kiev regime has chosen a different path. The path of attempts to intimidate Russia, Russian citizens, and attacks on residential buildings. This is of course a clear sign terrorist activity. First, I want to say that the Moscow air defense system worked in the regular way, although there are things for us to work on.
Russian Defense Ministry said 5 had been shot down, and the systems of 3 were jammed, causing them to veer off course. For his part, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said that the West was stepping up equipment and arms supplies to Kiev, ahead of what he said would be a large-scale Ukrainian offensive, and said Moscow would strike any supply routes it detected.
Military support to Ukraine merely drags military activities out further, but cannot affect the outcome of this special military operation. Using NATO weapons, those empowering Kiev continue to carry out strikes against social facilities and perpetrate terrorist acts against Russian civilians. Our military forces are firm in their response to the actions of the Ukrainian militants.
Ukraine's presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolyak said Ukraine is not directly involved in the drone attack in Moscow. Podolyak said attacks in Moscow are a less interesting event for Ukraine, and their efforts are directed to strengthen air defense system in Kiev. According to Kiev's mayor Vitaly Klitschko, Ukrainian capital has been hit by a 4th Russian attack in 2 days. He made the statement when he visited the site of residential building that caught fire overnight after being struck by debris from a destroyed Russian projectile.
We understand that we need to strengthen the air defense system of Kiev, and we are constantly thinking about it. Regarding Moscow, or Moscow's drone attacks, I understand it is important for you, but for us, it is a much less interesting event. But what is very important to understand, we're being drawn into the era of artificial intelligence.
Despite the Russian warnings, Ukraine is still promising a counteroffensive backed with Western weapons, which makes the solution to end this conflict impossible for the moment.